So obviously your athleticism is well documented, but I'm looking back at the recruiting and you weren't this mega recruit. I'm wondering if you weren't quite what you are now when you were in high school, or did teams just miss the boat on you at that point?
Coming from Kansas, I feel like high school football most likely is a little overlooked. It's not really too often that there's a lot of guys that are, highly recruited, five-star guys coming from Kansas. I mean, I'm sure you guys have really never heard of any guys that are like five-star, number one in the nation players in football coming from Kansas. Here, I feel like it's more basketball, baseball, or bigger sports. A lot of guys get drafted out of high school here to go play pro for baseball, but I feel like just personally I was just overlooked. A lot of those scholarships I had, completely grateful for them, was a blessing of its own, but I felt as if I deserved, more of the powerhouses. So I found myself sending out my film to all the big schools, and, I would hear some things back. A lot of times I would just go ignored. So I kind of just feel like they missed the ball on it. And luckily, Coach Venables and Coach Sweeney took a chance on me, and, the rest was history.
Isaiah, Craig Fouie with ABC 15 here in Phoenix. What have the last 3 or 4 days been like for you since the draft Thursday night?
The more and more the day goes along, the more things are calming down. But every morning I wake up, I'm like, dang, like I'm finally in the pros. Like I've been dreaming for this. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm there. But I'm like, I've just been dreaming of this, and every day I wake up, I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm a Cardinal, let's get it. But like I said, the days are coming down more and more. But I'm fully grateful. I'm just trying to really get everything situated and figured out because I like structure. So just working on all of those things.
Isaiah, I know you had a trip to Michigan planned before Brent Venables met you at the school. Were you thinking that's where you were going to go? And what happened at that dinner that night with Coach and your mom and everything that kind of convinced you Clemson was where you wanted to go?
So actually, I went to Michigan during the week and then flew to Clemson right from there. So I was heavily considering Michigan. I enjoyed my visit, but after I went to Clemson, there was nothing that could even compete. Nothing even came close. Just with the culture and the people there, it's unmatched. But when it came down, it was actually Coach wasn't there, if that's what you're talking about, the dinner of my decision. So it was my family, and we sat down, and my dad's like, "You only got a couple of days, Zay. So like, what you gonna do?" And from the moment I left Clemson, I knew like that's what I wanted to do, and I was just like, I'm going to Clemson. And they were very, very supportive, excited. They're actually really happy I went there. But like I said, the culture and the people is really what it was. It's just unmatched because the winning, that was always there. So.
Okay, next up, please, Richard Sines, Darren Urban, Bob McManaman.
Hey, Isaiah, Richard Sines here with Fox 10. First of all, welcome to the Cardinals. You look like you're all on board. You got the hat, the T-shirt on, and like Mark said, the dust is kind of settled. When you look at what this Cardinal team has done this offseason and even through the draft and adding so many defensive players, what message does that send to you about how committed this team is to defense?
Yeah, so just seeing what guys have been brought in, along with myself, I think we really are building something really, really special. It's going to shock a lot of people. I'm the more and more I think about it, just our personnel that we have, we're going to be completely fine. We're going to have everything we need and more. So I really just can't wait. Just can't wait to get to work with the guys, defensive guys, as long as the offensive guys as well. Nuke Hopkins, another Clemson guy. Really excited to, be a teammate. We're a Clemson family, but now we're officially teammates. So I'm excited about all of that.
Isaiah, everybody always wants to talk about your positional versatility and what you can do physically. I'm curious on a mental aspect, taking all that in,
what kind of pride you have in being able to absorb all that, because if you're doing different things on a weekly basis, that's a pretty heavy mental load for a player. Have you always been a good student? Is this something football related for you? I mean, how can you talk about the mental side of doing all of that?
Yeah. I always grew up. I always grew up with school first, everything else second. So my mom, she went to Creighton, got her master's from Bowling Green. So she's all about school. I remember just growing up, if homework wasn't done, I wasn't going to football practice. So don't even ask what time we're leaving. So I've always been a good student growing up, and just the way that we had our meeting room set up in Clemson is what really allowed me to excel in learning. And I also believe that the mental part of football is just as important, if not more important, when you're playing. Because when you get to this point, everybody's a good athlete. Everybody is capable of doing the physical part. And the guys that really separate is the guys that are mentally sharp. So I really pride myself in that. I know many guys really don't, but I feel like the more you know, the better you are. So the more and more I was able to learn the positions and responsibilities of everybody, the better I was at playing, which is weird because you would think it would be a lot to handle, but honestly, the more I had to do, the better I was playing. So my coach, he kept me busy. But
Isaiah, I know you said you'd play wherever they think you'll help them the best, but I'm curious as to your visualization, hopes, and dreams as a rookie. What kind of things are you hoping to accomplish, number-wise or not? But what do you see yourself? Can you visualize what could happen as a rookie?
yeah, I mean, I feel like I can go in and compete with anybody. It's just a mentality I have, regardless if I can or not. So I'm always going to feel as if I can compete with any and everybody on that field. And secondly, I just want to be an immediate impact on whatever my role and my responsibility is. I just want to be an immediate impact.
Next three, please. We'll go Josh Weinfuss, Catherine Fitzgerald, Kyle Odegaard.
Hey, Isaiah, Josh Weinfuss with ESPN. Two-parter for you. Which part of long jump translates most to the football field? And why were you able to go back and jump for Clemson after those few weeks your freshman year?
Yeah, what translates the most would definitely be trust. That would be one. And then explosiveness. So exploding off the board, that obviously translates to football, being an explosive player. And when I say trust, I mean that by saying, so when long jumping, you have your steps that you and your coach commit to. So when it comes to meet day, just trusting your steps and not looking down at the board. And I mean, because you count 1, 2, 3, and whenever you get to whatever number you are, I was 7. Whenever I got to that, whenever I counted 7, to just jump. So that's where the trust factor comes in. Oh, and sorry, I was able to go back to long jump because I don't know, track is just really natural for me. That was my first sport. I could have sworn as a kid I was going to the Olympics, but then my body started changing and football came along and things switched up a little bit. But it was really simple for me to go back because it's not like I was gone from it for a long time. I had just came out of high school track and I still had it in me. So it was relatively simple for me to go back.
Hey, Isaiah, Catherine Fitzgerald with The Republic. When you talk about, that mental aspect of football, what's your learning style like? And kind of tied to that, what were your favorite subjects and classes growing up?
My favorite subject in class, I would say, was math. I don't know why. Probably because it was what I was best at. But math, it just really came easy to me because to me, there's like a formula for everything. And formula to me is like structure, and I'm a big structure guy. So that would be why that's my favorite.
Isaiah, you mentioned your body changing and getting bigger. Were you surprised that you didn't lose the speed when you gained the weight? And what does that speed size combo do for you?
Yeah, so I was always curious. I would, play around with my body weight just to see how I could run at what weight. And, up to the weight I'm at now, nothing's changed. I do believe if I was lighter, I would obviously be faster. But my speed from when I was a freshman at Clemson to now, to this day, my speed hasn't changed, and I've done nothing but get bigger. So I wasn't really surprised, more happy because I've seen a lot of guys get bigger and get a lot slower, and nothing has changed at all. So I feel like I really was just filling out what my frame is, and everything has just came along with it.
Isaiah, let's wrap up with three more. The last three: Jess Root, Scott Bordeaux, Bob McManaman, please.
Hey, Isaiah, this is Jess Root from cardswire.com. Couple questions. One, how was day one of virtual meetings today? And two, any significance to the number 48 for that you got assigned?
Okay, yeah. So with day one, us rookies, I don't think we can meet with the guys until next Monday. So in the meeting rooms, it's just me and Evan with the inside linebacker coach. And 48, when I was actually talking with my brother, like, what number should I get? I got, just a few options. And 48, something I learned just the more and more I'm learning about Arizona day by day is it's the 48th state. So there's some significance right there. But personal significance, there's not really much there. I've always been like a really low number, but I feel like I was going to look good in it. So that's really the main.
Isaiah, Coach Venables said he called you Twinkle Toes before a game at Georgia Tech because you weren't handling cut blocks right in practice. And it really kind of pissed you off and motivated you, for lack of a better term. Do you remember that? And do you recall kind of what your reaction was to, his, I don't know if you want to call it name calling, but him trying to motivate you that way?
Yeah, absolutely. He knew that was going to piss me off. So he hammered me with that all the time. And the reason that came about was he called me Twinkle Toes, and he was like, it's okay, I'll just put a bigger guy in since you can't handle it. And he knows, like, whether if it's special teams or defense, I hate coming off the field just because of how much I love football. And he was like, it's okay, I'll just put somebody bigger in, Twinkle Toes. And after that, he had nothing else to worry about because I was just that mad that he even thought about putting somebody else in instead of having me in. So it was a little bit of motivation.
Isaiah, have you a two-parter? Have you had a physical of any kind with the Cardinals, and what do you think the steps are going to be to signing a contract the way the situation is right now? Are you worried about that getting done? You think you have to have a physical taken before they do that? Are you worried about negotiations at all?
I haven't had a physical literally in the Cardinals facility, but I know I was checked out by the team doctor at the combine. So I know there's a little bit of a record taken from the Cardinals staff, which is a positive. But the contract wise, I'm not too worried about it. I know it's gonna happen. It could happen virtually, just like everything else has happened, but I'm not really too worried about it. I know it'll happen when it can happen, and I'm just more focused on just controlling what I can control. So